Judge Rob here.
Yay!
Judge Rob is joining us to talk about Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate and new Planeswalkers from that set that you can use in Oathbreaker and then adapt to Commander.
Yes.
Welcome, Rob.
Thank you. I'm really excited because they printed a bunch of Planeswalkers that say this can be your commander on them, which is a cool line of text because it means you can build one deck that is both an Oathbreaker deck and a commander deck.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So we're going to talk about the Oathbreaker side, but then you just add like 40 random cards in color, and some of them should be lands.
Oh yeah,
Not just, can't be too random.
Yeah, it can't be too random. But like for the most part, you could just add a bunch of reasonable cards to any of these and make them into really sweet commander decks, and then have fun in either format.
And you can then you only need one deck box, and then you just take out the ones that aren't the commander when you want to play Oathbreaker. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep. And if you want to be super lazy, you shuffle the library and just take 40 cards off the top.
That's my style, Rob.
That's how we.
That's how we do here.
Although, why did you shuffle 100 cards when you could have only shuffled 60?
It's true.
Rob, for people who don't know what Oathbreaker is, can you give me the elevator pitch?
The elevator pitch. So this is fast commander. You play with a Planeswalker as your commander instead of a legendary creature. You have a signature spell that you can only cast while your Oathbreaker, your Planeswalkers on the battlefield. Those both start in the command zone. And the other thing is that you only start at 20 life, and games end reasonably quickly in the format. You attack a lot, your deck is a lot more focused, and with the lower life total, things happen faster.
So everybody's at 20 life.
Yeah, at 20 life, there's no commander damage, even for Gideons, because they were already at 20. Why would you need to deal them 21? You killed them before you got to there. So it's a format where you get to play Planeswalkers and signature spells.
Okay, great. So what you've done, Rob, here is build us, which has been very gracious of you, 3 Oathbreaker decks that can easily be adapted in commander decks with the new Planeswalkers from Battle for Baldur's Gate.
And this wasn't just me. I want to be clear. This was some of the Weird Cards group that hangs out in Rochester, some of the rules committee for Oathbreaker also built these decks. I adapted some of them because I looked at them and was like, this is like 75% of what I want.
Yeah.
But they were really great about this.
Rochester, Minnesota. Either you're working for Mayo Clinic or you're playing Oathbreaker. That's
or both, because most of the rules committee works for
Mayo Clinic. All right. Fair enough.
Just the truth. So we're going to kick things off with Megan's deck that she's chosen.
Yes, this is Elminster. 3 white blue for a legendary Planeswalker, Elminster. 5 loyalty. He has, just some static text that says, whenever you scry, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn cost X less to cast, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. +2, draw a card, then scry 2. -3, exile the top card of your library. Create a number of 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying equal to that card's mana value. Elminster can be your commander. Elminster is great. Got a real Gandalf vibe going on.
Big time
with
Gandalf vibe.
Very powerful stance. Very powerful wizard stance happening in this card.
He's one of the classic fantasy wizards.
Yes.
He's been and done everything, including a priestess of Mystara.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
And he knows it. Based on this pose, he knows it.
He knows.
Yes.
My name is Elminster. I'm a classic wizard.
Love his hat.
So this... and this has the signature spell of Finale of Revelation, which is from the Finale cycle back in Amonkhet. Blue X sorcery, draw X cards. If X is 10 or more, instead shuffle your graveyard into your library, draw X cards, untap up to 5 lands, and you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Exile Finale of Revelation. But of course it just goes back to its little happy zone, where you can cast it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pedantic. This is from War of the Spark.
It's from War of the Spark, my bad.
War of the Spark.
Okay. Do you know what?
Rob, you wouldn't be a true judge if you were not pedantic. I'm just going to put it out there.
I see Nicol Bolas and I think Amonkhet. Yeah, exactly.
It's either Amonkhet or War of the Spark. You had 50-50.
It's the last time that we saw him. And then, of course, it has one of in this case, my favorite scryers of all time. Just one of my favorite creatures of all time. One of my favorite cards.
Wow.
Prognostic Sphinx. This is back from the original Theros block.
OG.
3 blue for a Sphinx who's a 3/5 flying. Discard a card. It gains hexproof until end of turn. Tap it. And whenever it attacks, scry 3. This card is just so good. Look at the Sphinx's beard to start with. Look at it's enormous. It's an enormous beard. It's a Sphinx. It protects itself. So I love when you're playing like a more control or spells oriented deck, you can just play one creature and then just make sure it stays there.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about it. And then of course, scry 3 with Elminster. I'm now casting my next instant or sorcery for 3 less, which is like quite a bit. So, obviously that's amazing with my Finale of Revelation. Just chuck 3 cards in there already.
Yeah.
Rob, can I just say, I think it was dangerous to put this deck in Megan's hands.
I understand. Like every time I looked at it, I was like, all right, I'm just going to add more things that say like scry. All these creatures should scry, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You just want to look at your library forever.
Yes, exactly.
Megan will always know what 6 cards she's drawing and in which order.
Yes, exactly. Why leave something like that to chance? Your draw step is so important. Why leave it to chance?
Great point.
Can you imagine you can then I scry with my little Sphinxy friend. I can cast Tamio's Epiphany for a single blue.
Gross.
That's
And then
scry 4. With scry 4 and draw 2 cards. And now my next card costs 4 less to cast.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
And this is without plussing Elminster, right?
Yes.
Because then you plus Elminster.
And then I scry 3. Is it scry 2?
You scry 2 from Elminster.
Scry 2 from Elminster.
So it's 2 + 4 is 6 off your Finale. You're getting there.
Yes, amazing. Then there's cards like Inscription of Insight. This is 3 and a blue with kicker 2 blue, which also has scrying. Multiple choice, which also has scry.
Yes.
You can just choose all the choices for multiple choice and still only cast it for a single blue.
Very usually.
Why would you not want to?
That was my take. I think the best card in the library you're kind of downplaying. You looked at Mystic Speculation,
yes,
right?
Mystic Speculation. This is a single blue with buyback for 2. Buyback means that when you cast it, like you also pay its buyback, and then you just put it back in your hand.
Great.
So you just do it again.
Single blue, scry 3.
And it scries 3.
Yep. Which means that your next Mystic Speculation costs a single blue. So you could just cast Mystic Speculation like 5 times.
Again and again and again and again.
Wow. Amazing. This deck is filthy. Absolutely blue player filthy.
Yep.
Yeah, because buyback is an additional cost, right?
Yep,
so
exactly.
it's like reducing the cost
Yes,
already.
exactly.
Amazing. Really incredible. Really incredible stuff.
Rob, who is this deck for?
This deck is for somebody who wants to attack with some flying creatures and like play 5 spells every turn.
Yes. And draw cards. Like,
And
let's
draw
not.
cards.
And
Yeah.
draw cards.
Like, scrying is great. And
Yep.
then you get to draw cards.
Yeah.
The ultimate
it.
end game.
Yes.
Yes.
My suggestion, if you're expanding this up to be a commander deck, is you add in some more buyback spells because those are really sweet. So you play like Whispers of the Muse. You play like you'll play like Inviolability, which says that prevent all damage that a sorcery of your choice would deal you this turn, because you're going to have your costs reduced a lot.
Yeah.
From a lot of these spells. And then you play some more prowess creatures. Right now, this only really has Stormwing Entity as its prowess creature. It could use a couple more.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
It could use a bunch of spells and a bunch of prowess creatures. It's
It also has Thassa, God of the Sea.
Yes.
I just
You
love
love
Thassa.
Thassa.
Thassa's
I
so
do.
good.
I love Thassa. You automatically are scrying on your upkeep. Baral, Chief of Compliance, who makes your instants
Yes.
and sorceries cast
Yes.
cost 1 less to cast. Just really good stuff.
There's a couple new cards as well from Battle for Baldur's Gate. Wizards of Thay is my suggestion. If you take a look at that.
Oh, yeah.
down here. Like
3 and a blue for a 3/3 Myriad, which is great.
yeah, the new mechanic.
It makes copies.
new.
Returning, yeah. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. What if I attack with it and then I have 3 copies of it for each of my opponents, and then my spells cost 3 less to cast?
and it has another line of text.
And you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash.
Wow.
Just really nice.
So it lets you
stuff.
finale during your combat.
I'm just horrified over
What
here.
a time. What a time.
The other new one is the Sapphire Dragon, which is a great new adventure.
Ooh, yeah,
Ooh, new
Psionic
adventure.
Pulse.
Yes.
5 blue. This is a 5/6 flying whenever it attacks or blocks. Scry 2.
Sick.
And then Psionic Pulse, which is its adventure instant counter target non-creature spell. I love it.
Yep.
You love
It's
gotta
everything
love it.
that you want on a card,
Exactly,
right? It's like
it
it
really
counters
is.
their
Get
it
one
counters
for
their
every
Oathbreaker,
season.
it counters their signature spell. And then like after you do that, you get a 5/6 flyer. Sure.
That also scries to excellent. Why not?
Everybody, if you're just listening to this podcast, by the way, the links for these will be in the show notes. So if you want to just crib our notes, crib Rob's notes,
Yeah, steal these
Exactly.
decks.
notes, you can.
Look at them while we're talking about them.
Look at them while we're talking about
You
them.
could be like, Megan, why are you not talking about my favorite card in this? And then name another card that's for some reason not Prognostic Sphinx.
It's
You
fair.
can. I don't know why you are, but okay.
Because I want to cast Graven Lore. I've never cast
Okay.
that spell. It looks incredible.
Ooh, Graven Lore is a very cool
Yes.
spell. That's fair. I also do love, because of cards like Graven Lore, this is all cold lands.
Yeah, it's
By
all
which I mean
snowlands.
Snowlands.
Yeah.
Cold lands.
Cold
Yeah.
lands.
Mostly because Merit Lage's Slumber is
yeah.
incredible, right? Like you
Yes.
play a lands, scry to reduce your costs. Someday you'll make a 20/20.
Yeah.
I love Merit
We're
Lage's
not,
Slumber.
we're not worried about when it'll happen.
Yeah.
Just someday.
you actually want it to stay in the battlefield as an enchantment that scries every turn.
Oh,
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about my deck that you've
Yeah.
created here, Rob.
Thassa.
With Thassa the Witch Queen. Hello, yes, excuse me. Have you all seen this card? She looks great.
Yes.
Just gonna point that out.
Tasha the Witch Queen of Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Indeed.
Yes.
You may know her from her hideous laughter.
Yes. and her Cauldron of Everything. Don't
Yeah,
forget
that's
the
that's
true.
Cauldron of
right.
Cauldron
Everything.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
everything. She costs 3 blue-black with four loyalty Planeswalker. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token.
Delightful.
That's her static ability. Her +1 is draw a card. For each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard and put a page counter on it. Okay, -3. You may cast a spell from among cards in exile with page counters on them without paying its mana cost.
Wow.
She can be your commander.
Yes.
Great. So I love her because she's just casting other people's stuff, which is just very mean and
Yes.
rude. And I think that's very cool subterfuge. And able to just draw cards, take cards away from people after they've cast them yourself. And then, of course, make a demon in the process.
Yeah, just free demons.
Free demons. Who doesn't want free demons? You know?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exile all of Megan's spells.
Yes.
Hey.
Exactly.
Cast them myself and make a demon.
Hey.
Yep.
My demon babies from Tasha. And I've got a signature spell, of course. And this is Predator's Hour, 1 and a black for sorcery. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at and play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it.
Yeah.
Great.
Spicy.
I love how cheap this is, just
Yes.
for 1 and a black.
Yeah, 1 and a black. So oftentimes you'll be able to hit with a creature and then immediately cash it in.
Oh, I love it. This deck is so mean. And
It's
normally,
spiteful.
normally I'm not the kind of person who's like, I'm stealing your stuff, I'm casting it myself. But there is truly no greater feeling in Magic than casting your opponent's spells.
Beating them with our own hands.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Like-
so
There's something about it
there's
that's
just
just really
something about it. And we've had wonderful cards which have allowed us to do this in the past. Like Thief of Sanity is in this deck.
Yes.
Do y'all remember
Yeah.
Thief of Sanity? Because the name couldn't be more true than this card, because it steals your sanity for sure whenever you get hit with it and you see it and you immediately want to kill it.
Yes.
It's just perfect flavor feeling for this. So this is a 2/2 flyer for 1 blue-black. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest into their graveyard. That's even meaner. You may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled and spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thief of Sanity.
They need a single short term for you
Yeah.
can spend mana as or mana of any color to cast this.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a long sentence.
Sure, I'm gonna use the flavor, the flavor text word to describe it.
Yeah.
It's called jerk move.
Yeah.
Then
Jerk move.
Jerk move.
Well, no, but sometimes you'll be able to do it with your own cards. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
well, workshop it.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. Jerk move is pretty good, though. I like that.
This also has Night Veil Spectre, which is a throwback.
Yes.
One of my favorite. This is from Gate Crash.
Yes.
Way back in the day. Hybrid blue, 3 hybrid blue-black. So you can cast it for blue, 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 black, 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 any combo of those 3 things. 2/3 flying. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. You may play cards exiled with Night Veil Spectre. I just have fond memories of hitting people with this card.
Yep.
And
this
stealing.
saw a lot of standard play.
Exactly. Stealing it.
This I love how you found all of the cards that do this, Rob, because we also have Gonti, Lord of Luxury,
Yes.
in
I
here
love Gonti.
stealing for you to cast. We've got Rankle, Master of Prankles, in here as well, because this deck is very prankful, if I were to classify it.
Prankful.
Very prankful. We have Siphon Insight as part of this as an instant as well, which is a powerhouse.
Honestly, it's the card design for Thassa.
Yeah.
Like this card just screams play me with Thassa on it.
Yeah, you get to steal cards and you can flash back, do it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can
really
in the
nice.
early game you can make land drops, and in the
only
late game
2
you can steal
mana.
their best cards.
Yeah. I love this deck. It's so rude. It is so rude, Rob.
Have you ever commandeered a spell?
Yes.
I haven't.
you
I was gonna
commandeered
say
spells.
I really got to commandeer some spells.
I just really like this deck. It's got tiny little creatures, which I like. They're doing extremely rude things, which I find very cute. And Tasha's here like, yes, I'll give you a reward. Demon babies for every time that you do
free
this.
demons every time that you do the thing you wanted to do anyway.
Exactly. Tasha's like, every time you're mean, I'll give you a demon.
Yeah. And this is when I play multiplayer games, especially like board games, when I play them, and if I have some kind of role assigned to me or whatever, I will play.
I can testify to this.
Yes.
Maria disappears.
I've become like a horrible dictator that is willing to just completely salt the earth of their own people to achieve like the end.
Trying to play King's Dilemma with Maria was just like throwing yourself into a brick wall. Absolute refusal to cooperate because her people were not a cooperative people in the game. So like it wasn't gonna happen.
This card says I'm uncooperative. I'm sorry.
Exactly. It was like basically Maria was like, no, my card says that I hate you. So you're like, wow.
There it is. There it is. Have I ever told this story where in 4th grade we were playing a game where everybody was the leader of a different country and then you had different resources?
Yeah, like a model UN kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my country was a country that had all the nuclear power and all the nuclear capability.
Don't give you that.
We didn't have any food. We had nothing else. We just had this. And I remember like assuming my role and I like was standing up on top of a desk with my pen in my hand, ready to drop it as if I was going to nuke the nearby country if they did not give us a food supply. And I'm standing there like this, and there's a knock on the door, and like the school secretary comes in, and she's like, Maria, you have your dentist appointment?
Oh no! Did you drop it and leave?
I didn't have to drop it because they acquiesced to my demands.
Well, there you go.
So anyway, what I'm trying to say, specifically in multiplayer, Tasha, thank you for giving me this gift, Rob. How would you upgrade the Thassa deck?
So if I was expanding out Thassa, what I would do is I would add more ninjas and more ninja enablers. So just like there's that 1/1 fairy for single blue that scries when it enters the battlefield and has flying, right?
Yeah.
And so you get to play a bunch more ninja enablers. There's a couple of ninjas in the deck, but I would just have a whole ninja tribal package that I would just add right in.
Cool.
Because what Thassa wants you to do a lot of the time is just have some reasonable pressure on the board and then steal your opponent's big payloads.
Right.
Which is what I would just be trying to do all the time. I would also add, so the library for Thassa has a lot of staple removal spells, which is really good, and I would just add like another 6 of those.
Yeah.
Just that you can interact more. Because you really need to be able to remove a blocker so that you can punch through for some more damage.
Rob, what deck have you chosen for yourself?
I'm looking at Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes. So Minsk and Boo are a dynamic duo from the Baldur's Gate video game series. In this case, they are green-red 2 for legendary Planeswalker Minsk. When Minsk and Boo enters the battlefield, Minsk and Boo Timeless Heroes enters the battlefield, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. So he has a pet hamster.
Great.
It's a miniature giant space hamster for those who are unfamiliar with Boo. +1, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature with either trample or haste. -2, sacrifice a creature. When you do, Minsc and Boo Timeless Heroes deals X damage to any target, where X is that creature's power. If the sacrificed creature was a hamster, draw X cards.
Wow. Really cruel, though.
Really cruel.
So cruel.
Go for the eyes, Boo. But Boo comes back every turn.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm a degenerate, so as the signature spell for this, I picked Berserk, which is, it's not on the reserved list, which is always kind of surprising. Single green instant. Cast Berserk only before the combat damage step. Target creature gains trample and gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is its power. At the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn.
I feel like Rob's going to win this game in 2 minutes.
Well, that's the goal, actually. So, like, the line is, like, you cast Minsc, make a Boo, go to their turn, they kill your Boo because they're jerks. You make a free Boo on your upkeep, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But you put 2 +1/+1 counters on Boo the previous turn. If they don't kill it, then you're just like, all right, Berserk from the as a signature spell. Berserk again as a signature spell.
Yeah.
Like, 4 doubles to 8 doubles to 16, face that player that didn't have a blocker, and then -2 my Minsc and Boo to 16 that other player and draw 16 cards.
Great.
That's
Great.
like
Rob,
that's
you're banned from our group.
probably like this is plan A. It's at the same mana cost as Minsc and Boo itself,
Yeah.
so it's like very doable if they don't kill your Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
I decided to. So one of the things that you can do is make other things hamsters in order to draw a bunch of cards from them. You can do this by having changelings in your library. So there's 2 changelings that have trample or haste. They're not very good, charitably. So instead, I decided to play a bunch of like good legendary creatures and a couple of artifacts, equipment that make things all creature types.
So if it's not originally a hamster.
If it's not a hamster, it just thinks about being a hamster, and now it is.
Now it is. Which is how it worked for all of us.
Yes.
If you want to be a hamster, think about it right
picture
now.
it in your
about it.
mind.
Now
You
you're a
are one.
hamster.
And so you can equip Rune Stalactite or Amorphous Axe in order to make your creatures all creature types. Hero's Blade is very cool with Minx as equipment because the Boo token that it makes enters the battlefield, and then Hero's Blade automatically equips to it.
Ooh,
it says
great.
whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. Equipped creature gets +3/+2, and it has like an equip cost of 4, but I don't know if this library will ever be able to play that because it has a whole pile of legendary creatures.
Yeah.
Everything but its mana donks are legendary.
Oh, that's cool.
The other thing to call out is it plays a bunch of giant growth effects. Giant growth itself, infuriate, groundswells +2/+2 or +4/+4 if you played a land this turn. And it plays invigorate, which is a free giant growth. Your opponent gets to gain 3 life. That life does not matter because you gave your creature +4/+4 for 0 mana. And so it just plays a pile of legendary creatures. I'm just a huge fan of the legendary tribal theme that you can do in green-red. You could just play a bunch of these. You can play Bard class, which is one of my absolute favorite spells of all time.
Wow.
So Bard class says it's one of the class spells from Adventures of the Forgotten Realms. Legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. So your boos are always bigger. At level 2, cost green-red to get there. Legendary spells you cast cost green-red less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. But it makes things like Golly of the Endless Stance free. And then from level 2 to level 3 is a green-red 3. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library, you may play them this turn.
It seems really good here.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You can, it's just a pile of cards. Like, you're playing a very fair Bard class. If you're playing this in Constructed, you would build a Bard class deck that just, when it levels to 3, ends the game on the spot.
Yeah.
But you just get a bunch of free stuff. You get to play Arnie Brokenbrow, who's very cool. He's another haste legendary creature. You get to play Surfair and the Henge Hammer, who loves to have counters put on her. And then just a bunch of just reasonable low to the ground legendary creatures. And then Mox Amber so that you have additional mana.
Wilson, Refined Grizzly.
Oh, Wilson Refined Grizzly. Yeah, he's brand new, right? So he's super cool. He's drinking a potion. He's just so happy about it.
You know?
So he's a legendary creature, Bear Warrior, 2/2 for green and 1. He can't be countered. He has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. He has Ward 2, so he's hard to kill. And he has you choose a background, which we don't care about in this context. Because, like, you just want a bear that they can't kill.
Yes.
And he's just great. He's very fun. He's from He's from Battle for Baldur's Gate. He's one of the exciting cards.
Yeah.
I love you, Wilson. So, Rob, how would you upgrade this deck into commander deck?
So if I was upgrading this into a commander deck, I would add some other more interesting legends. I'd add things like Kolvori, God of Kinship, that pays off your legends. I'd add Reki, History of Kamigawa, who rewards you for casting legendary spells. And I'd add a little bit more mana ramp and a couple more payoffs. Because I don't feel like when you don't have Berserk in the command zone, you don't have the ability to just pay off and instantly kill an opponent.
Sure.
There's a bunch of other Berserks. There's a Berserk from Ravnica City of Guilds that costs 3 mana. A lot of power doubling.
Fling.
Yeah, Fling. Having some more Fling effects would be nice. I didn't feel like I needed to because I could just cast Minx and kill people on the spot.
Exactly.
But you also probably need some more Bard class or Beastmaster's Ascension kind of stuff in order to reward you for having a big pile of things.
Wow, Rob, these decks are awesome.
Yeah. They're super fun.
I'm excited. I think that we should probably get them together and play them at some point.
Yes, I
I
think
agree.
we need to, because I just really need to drop that bomb,
Yes.
that I didn't get to do in 4th grade.
You will not believe the way that Maria will disappear. She's not there.
I look forward to you cackling maniacally as you take our spells.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I have to. I'm
Yes.
playing
Yes.
Thassa, and
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
hideous laughter. Anyway, Rob, if people want more information on Oathbreaker, how to play it, what the rules are, what the ban cards are, where should they go?
Head to oathbreaker.com. We've got all the information on the format up there. You can check it out. We have information about the ban list, an article based on what we discussed last time. We'll probably have an article on this one as well.
Yeah, great.
And so you'll be able to just check out stuff related to it. Yeah.
Great. Rob, thank you so much for coming in and showing
welcome.
us these great decks. They seem so very fun. And remember, the pre-release for Baldur's Gate is coming up this weekend.
Yeah, the set releases on the 10th, but the pre-release is this upcoming weekend,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can get your hands on these new cards at pre-release or in the release on the 10th.
There's Commander Draft at this weekend's pre-release,
Yeah.
which is weird and cool and fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have a good time.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
You're
Rob.
welcome.
Yay.